All right, let's get going. Welcome to the December 15th, 2025, December 17th, 2025 Conservation Commission meeting. As a reminder, this meeting is recorded and your voice and image will be recorded and live on YouTube forever.
Right. So first item on our agenda was to review and approve the minutes, but the YouTube video did not get posted until yesterday afternoon, and fortunately did not get to it last night.
So we have no minutes.
So no minutes.
Yeah. We'll have extra minutes next meeting.
Yes. So moving on to the treasurer's report, there's no new updates to report in any of our accounts. There's no bills or forms. We do have one mail notice that came in from MACC. It's just an advance notice of our dues for the fiscal year 2027. The due amount is $489. So keep that in our back of our heads.
Awesome. It is nice that they do that.
Yes. And I can give a few more updates. Maplewood Farm had a new soil importation of 100 cubic yards. So that is an update for everyone.
I saw some emails, were they since the last meeting, about Allen Road?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Allen Road, as a reminder, that was the enforcement order. They've completed nearly all of the steps of their restoration plan. The last step is they just need to put straw over the native soil that's down. They were able to get the straw. There was a lot of snow still on the ground, so they were holding off until some of it melted, but it seems like a lot of snow has melted, at least in my area. So if the commission feels comfortable, they can put the straw down and that will complete their restoration plan.
I can run up there tomorrow too.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, if you could just email them, and before we get, I think we're supposed to get some weather next week.
Okay.
So
So I'm put down
Yep.
as soon as possible.
Yep.
Sounds good.
And then just send us some pictures, and AJ will run out, and that will be that. It would be great to have that off our plate.
Yes.
Yeah, but otherwise there hasn't been much happening.
No,
The
no,
holidays
that's...
always distract people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Absolutely. Let's see.
All right. Oh, and I noticed you put the public hearing for 7:05. That's great.
Yes, figured we would not have 15 minutes worth of material to discuss, but we do have 2 minutes.
Yep.
Let's see what else is on our agenda. 10 Bigelow Road. As an update, all of the erosion controls have been put in and checked by the commission. They needed to put in some new flags, and the surveyor has since gone and put in new flags and sent us an updated plan with the flags properly as marked. So
Right.
that
And just to be clear, he actually just refreshed the flag.
refresh the flags.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, when we went out there on our site walk, there were some that were barely hanging on.
Blown away.
Yeah. As happens.
Yeah, so 10 Bigelow is all up to date there. Not waiting on anything else.
Excellent. And they actually, I don't know if we talked about this at a meeting, after we did our site walk, or while we were doing our site walk, they went over and above. The site is pretty sloped. There's a pretty good grade in one area, and it kind of comes down into a gully. So she had them, all of the tree bark that they normally just chip up and then actually sell, she had them do check dams all along the hill, all the way around with it. Because the site's probably going to remain open for a while, like years, maybe. So we talked about some additional mitigation they could do to 5. Are you here for Randall Road?
Yes.
All right, come on up. Do you sign in?
Yes, I do.
All right. Site plans. Go back side of the table. And give that one to Robin. Oh,
How's it going, everyone? My name's
Excellent.
Curtis Weisgerber. I'm here from Goddard Consulting on behalf of 232 Randall Road. This is my first meeting in front of a commission, so I just want to thank you guys in advance for that. My colleague Tom Schutz went out to the site with peer reviewer Patrick Gardner on November 24th. They reviewed all 544 flags, I would believe it was. And only one flag was revised. It was flag GCF 40, which is on the right side of the property right there. It was moved here. It's this little box right here. I had some other images, some smaller ones to hand out for a better view. It is in this red box right over here. It was moved 20 feet to the east. Besides that, no other flags were moved or revised. As everyone can see, there is the revised plan right there. The only DEP comments that were made were to get a peer review of the site, and that was accomplished. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them. Goddard believes this is a pretty straightforward case. And if nobody has any questions, I would like to request a close to the hearing, and I would also like to request an ORAD.
right, and the stream that's on site does not qualify as perennial.
Correct.
Patrick confirmed.
Yeah, yep. Anybody have any comments, questions?
I see that.
You may.
Thank you.
So, on this plan,
Yes.
all of the tan is wetlands.
Yes, all of the tan is wetlands on that plan, and on these plans, it was just more colored up
The blue.
is the whitish blue in the
Yep.
middle.
Not a lot of buildable land
No,
in this lot.
definitely not.
Um,
So is it two parcels for,
So I'm looking at this representation.
Yes.
Right? Why doesn't the buffer and all that extend across the top on the right-hand side? 'Cause you've-
Across up here,
Yeah, because you've got on the right, further to the right, because you've got wetlands going across there,
up here.
right there.
Yes. Oh, okay, right here.
Yeah, because you've got wetlands within that range, but
Mhm.
you guys don't have that drawn in.
Yeah, this was the plan that was used before as well, and we must have just missed the buffer zones coming from these wetlands in, and must have only mapped them from the wetlands that were on the property.
Okay.
So, but the proponent's property includes this.
Yes, I believe it does.
Yeah, so you've
so
got
we're
to, you've
gonna
got
need
to,
that represented.
got to
Okay.
have that represented on there.
Yes.
Because the property line doesn't matter as far as wetlands are concerned.
Yes.
And this filing is for parcel A2, which is this horseshoe-shaped parcel.
Yes, so this in
And-
here is not part of it.
Right, right. Yep. I know, so there's no, well, but this property is not,
That's a different,
exactly.
yeah.
So here,
The only other spot I'm noticing is here, because I'm not sure why that's not represented, because that should, you know, I mean, the wetlands go
Continue
through there,
down.
so that should continue down. I don't know why it got truncated like that. It might just be that the text box from that blocked it somehow.
right,
But it doesn't show up on this either. I mean, it's less of a concern there. There's not a whole lot they can do with that, but, you know.
right.
But that should be there. I'm not seeing anything else that's jumping out at me.
Right.
Is there any access to this?
Doesn't look like it.
I mean, through a butter property,
You might be able to
but-
get an easement,
right.
so it should be, you know. It should be documented properly. That's all, I think that's all I got, is this here and that.
Yeah. So we can take a conditional vote, or we can extend the meeting to the next one, next meeting, assuming that, updated plans are presented.
Conditional vote, meaning we vote assuming that the plans get updated.
Correct.
I don't have a problem with that, but,
And everybody okay with that?
Sure.
Okay. Someone wanna make a motion?
I make a
To
motion
Issue an
to
ORAD?
issue an ORAD on condition that the plans are updated with appropriate setbacks and buffers for the wetlands on the
South corner.
I was
I
gonna
think
say
that's almost
southeast
due south,
corner,
yeah.
but yeah, but south.
Southeast.
South, yeah, whatever, south corner of the property.
Second.
Let's reference the, so it's, it's 0 Randall Road here, but there is actually a property address, 232. For 232.
For 232 Randall Road.
Before we should make this motion, do we need to vote to close it, even if it's conditional?
ANRADs are a little different, but let's do it anyway. Let's just cover our butt. I'd take a motion to close the ANRAD hearing, the public hearing for the ANRAD for 323. Nope, 232 Randall Road.
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask you, oh, actually, hold on. Since this is a public meeting, is there any public input? Hearing none, now I will ask you to vote to close the hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, so the hearing, public hearing is now closed. Now we will take a vote to conditionally approve this project. How quickly do you think you can get us?
Would you like the updated plans from the engineer so that they have these buffer zones extend this way, or would you just like us to put it on a plan from the engineer?
I don't really care who puts it
Okay.
on, yeah.
Okay, we can
As
put it-
long
yes,
as
I
it's
can put it-
represented
yes, we can put it
accurately.
on there.
Yep. So, like, in the next week?
Yes, definitely.
Next couple of days?
Yes, definitely. I can get it to you by tomorrow, actually.
That would be great. Okay. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And a third.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask you to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Hold on.
That says existing dwelling 232. So we definitely want the buffers down here too.
Okay.
Yeah, any part of the property that has wetlands,
Can I draw on this?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Oops, would help if I actually made that. So there, and question mark. But those points are where there's issue.
Oh, okay, yes, so the buffers were visually right there, but not.
Right.
They're not on the
Yes,
plan.
so I can, yes,
So-
or you can submit that.
yes.
Well, that actually
Well,
needs it up there
yeah.
too. Yep.
Yes, we can put it up there.
Yeah, all right, so I'm gonna give you this.
Yes.
Once we get the new plans, we'll sign the ORAD tonight, but we'll send it to you after we get the new plans.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right,
Thank you guys very much.
thank you so much. We weren't so bad, right?
No, it was great.
Probably why they sent you here for our first one. For your first one. All right, do you have the paperwork for that?
I do, yes.
Okay.
Do you want to sign
Yeah,
it
let's
now?
sign it.
Okay.
Have a good night, everyone.
You
Good night.
Thank you.
Go.
And then unfortunately, it's gonna require a mailing, but.
That's okay.
Yeah. We'll make sure we get the plans. Go this way?
Yeah, or pencil.
Yep.
You can't sign in pencil.
Nope.
It doesn't work.
Or purple pen.
Nope.
Or red. The winter cough is coming back, huh?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I should spend more time in the tropics.
We all should. Thank you, ma'am. Do you have a copy of the CR? Fine, I couldn't find it. Right. All right, awesome, great. So that's that. All right, next on the agenda, not a hearing, is 231 Story Hill Road. Come up to the table, and if you haven't signed in, if you would.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just gonna sign in here.
Good evening.
Hi, members of the commission. My name is Attorney Michael Brangwin. I'm an attorney on behalf of Fletcher Tilton, and I'm here with Michelle Bisconi, who is, through the Berlin Realty Trust, the owner of 231 Sawyer Hill Road. So you all may be, I'm sure, familiar with this matter, and I see I brought copies of the conservation restriction, but I see that I don't need it because you have it up on the board there. So there was a hearing in August about this matter at which the Conservation Commission, after a discussion with Ms. Bisconi and a colleague of mine, confirmed an earlier cease and desist order with respect to the construction of a riding ring at her property, which you likely know, but it's the southern center property shown on the conservation restriction document there. The belief of the board, of the commission being that the riding ring encroached upon the conservation restriction. I will note, as soon as Ms. Bisconi received notice from this board that it was the commission's position that the ring was potentially encroaching upon the conservation restriction, she immediately ceased all work on the ring and has not taken any further steps towards constructing that ring up to the present. But after the August 6th hearing and the commission's decision to affirm the earlier cease and desist order, and a directive to Ms. Bisconi to conduct a land survey, essentially confirming the boundaries of the restriction, we felt, given the very limited appellate period for a decision of this commission, which is 60 days, as you all likely know, under what's called a certiorari action, that to preserve Ms. Bisconi's rights, the clock was essentially running to file an appeal of that decision. The intent was certainly not to kind of create a litigious situation between Ms. Bisconi and the commission. And we understand the commission is simply trying to perform its duties in protecting the resources of the town. But coming up against that clock, we felt that our hands were tied in terms of preserving Ms. Bisconi's rights and the Realty Trust's rights. We did reach out to the town through the town administrator prior to filing an appeal to try to initiate a dialogue. Understandably, the town administrator isn't the Conservation Commission. She deferred to you all, and with that narrow window of time, we did file an action in the Superior Court to appeal that August 6th decision. Since that action was filed, you all likely know, if you've had a conversation with town council, a counterclaim, and I believe an answer and counterclaim have been filed by the town with respect to the same issues. And I'm sure you all are familiar with this, but the dispute essentially arises around the location of the conservation restriction and also the language of the conservation restriction. What is and is not restricted. So without getting bogged down into arguing over the merits of that disagreement between Ms. Bisconi and the commission, our desire has always been, kind of since this issue arose, to reach a mutual resolution that is, I believe, can very well be a win-win for both the town of Berlin and for Ms. Bisconi. So when town council appeared, I immediately reached out. I asked if, rather than engaging in expensive, wasteful litigation over this issue, could we get together, sit down, have a conversation on a way to resolve this in a way that's mutually beneficial? And I think I'm guessing, discussed that with you. I think there would maybe have been an executive session, and that's what brings us here tonight. The litigation activity, we've agreed, that has been stayed, essentially, not in any formal way, but any further activity is kind of not ongoing while we try to find a win-win solution, I hope. One of the things I proposed to town council, and I don't know how much she communicated to you, our conversations, but there is areas of land, as you can see, that are not subject to the conservation restriction, but are not presently used or don't presently have structures on them. Part of the issue, I will say, is that this plan, as it states in one of the notes, is not an instrument survey. There's no meets and bounds description in the deed conveying this conservation restriction. So there's some ambiguity as to where the exact boundaries lie, which presents part of the problem. My thought, in our proposal, at least our initial proposal, to try to reach a resolution of this, is Ms. Bisconi is willing to hire a surveyor, get a more specific instrument plan survey of her property, and try to determine with greater specificity to the extent possible, the exact boundaries of the conservation restriction. And to the extent, if it's discovered that there is some encroachment by this riding ring, then rather than argue over whether the restriction, the language of the restriction and things like that, Ms. Bisconi would be willing to subject additional land, to the same extent of any encroachment plus 10%, so that the town would actually be gaining additional land subject to restriction. And this is not insignificant, I will say, because the swath of land you can see there, kind of this, if that's north, I guess, to the south of the property, we've been told, and I say take this with a grain of salt, but at least Ms. Bisconi's been told that it does potentially, and particularly looking at the entire parcel of land, has the prospect for further development. What is there now, if you all are familiar with the property, is a horse farm, a little more aligned with the character of, I would imagine, what the Conservation Commission would prefer to see there, which is a more rural agricultural type setting surrounding this conservation restriction versus some type of development that might be possible. By restricting further land, and again, this is going to depend on the outcome of a survey, it might further ensure that the land stays in the character that it is now. So if lines can be drawn with more specificity, and the town can result in a net gain from this, we think that would be a win-win for everybody. Certainly it wasn't Ms. Bisconi's intent to violate any rights of the Conservation Commission. We're just looking for a solution to this problem now that the riding ring exists, to figure out a way to make everybody happy. And certainly if there are other points or items that I haven't thought of that might be in the interest of the Conservation Commission to discuss as part of a resolution, we're open to that as well. We're open to a dialogue. I don't know necessarily, and it's up to you all really, how you want to handle trying to figure out a resolution. If you are inclined to reach such a resolution, I don't think it necessarily has to be, that we hammer out a deal here tonight if you all have any appetite for that. But certainly we're open to an ongoing dialogue, and whether that involves you all meeting with council, you all having an executive session, or whatever that might entail, that's up to you. We want to have an open discussion and try to fix this.
I think I can speak for everybody when I say that we would love to come up with a way to resolve this, certainly without additional litigation. We have always acknowledged the limitations of the CR. We have worked with Ms. Busconi in the past about this exact line. So we're all well aware of, like I said, the limitations of the CR. And I'm very happy that we're gonna get a survey, because that's what we've been asking for since August. That would be great. I think once the survey gives us a better idea of what we're really looking at, we can then have further discussions about, about where next steps. But the survey has always been the thing that we have been asking for. Anybody else?
So the map there, that area that's lined, that's the CR?
Correct.
And so we kind of have a rough idea. I know we need the
Correct.
survey.
Right,
Totally, we
right,
do.
yeah, exactly. So there is a rough idea, and
Yeah, there's a scale on there.
and there's a
so-
scale on
Right.
there. So it is a knowable line within, if we're off by 5 feet, I'm gonna be okay with that. Like if we're, we're working with a document that was done in the early stages of conservation restrictions. It is why they are now copious amounts of pages, to cover every possibility. And we have always been willing to work with Michelle. So I think unless anybody has anything else they want to say, I think next steps is the survey.
Agreed, yeah.
Can I just ask, and would there be at that point a possibility of, once we get the survey, looking at maybe swapping if we decide that might be an option?
All options are on the table.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I will say, and I'll certainly discuss this with Heather White, who's attorney, with respect to the ongoing appeal. We'll have to figure out a way, and I'm sure that's a conversation that can be had between me and her of how to handle that with any for future dealings. The only concern is one aspect of that is in terms of responsibility. One of the aspects of that appeal is the responsibility or the burden of essentially proving these boundaries falling to Ms. Bisconi. I really feel like something that we are kind of benefiting the town with, I guess I should say. So, but if it's the commission's,
I don't know if I'd say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe it benefits Ms.
Yeah.
Busconi 100% in that she will have a clearer understanding of where the line is on her property to prevent further situations like this. She'll know exactly where that line is.
sure, I understand. And I can discuss that with Attorney White. But I'm getting the impression, it seems from the board, that any future discussion is going to require that survey. So that's something we can take into consideration and discuss with her and figure out how to handle that with the appeal.
Yeah. So I guess to be clear, originally we were asking for that line. Julia, can you point to the line in question? The right, no, a
Lower.
little, no,
To the right.
to the right.
It's
It's,
I got it.
thank you.
it's that one.
Right. So originally, we were asking for that line to be surveyed. Is everybody still comfortable with just that line being surveyed, or do we want?
If we're gonna be talking about land swaps, the whole property should be surveyed.
Or the whole,
The whole, yeah.
Not restricted
Yeah,
area
yeah.
should be surveyed.
Yeah.
So that we have an idea of what isn't restricted for any future land swap conversations.
Understood. I will make a note of that. And unless you have any other questions or comments to us, we thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Is there a time frame? Is that anything that's reasonable to?
We don't have a time frame. I assume Michelle has a time frame. The faster it gets done, the faster all of this can get resolved.
Yeah, but placing stakes in the winter is gonna be tough.
That's what rotary hammers are for.
Yeah.
I did mine in the winter. I had the wetland guy come out and do it in the winter time. He nailed it. So, he.
Yep. That's what, if you want to wait till the spring, that's up to you. We
No,
are
we'll get
certainly
it
not
done.
asking for that.
Okay.
So, might I suggest, could we kind of report back either through the clerk of the commission or Attorney White, and if it makes sense, get on the next agenda, and
Sure.
if the survey isn't feasible by then with the holidays and whatever the weather might be, we can.
Yep.
let's,
Julia is our agent, and the email is conservation@townofberlin.com.
The next meeting is January 7th, 2026.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Have a good night. Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
All right.
go to the library? I think, is that?
Yeah.
Get
Yeah,
people
I mean,
outta
we
here.
actually really don't have, so we've done Maplewood, we've done Allen Road, Bigelow Road we discussed.
Is there anything more to say about Maplewood, or just that it happened?
Yeah, so we've been keeping that on the agenda, just in case something comes up that we need to discuss. But there isn't there's rarely anything specific. Yep. Right, then we've got trail maintenance, which we can, and then CRs. Actually, let's talk about CRs while we have Kristen here. Whoop. River Bridge CR, we don't really have anything about that, right? That,
I could give you a brief update if you'd like. We met with the Sons recently.
oh, that would be wonderful.
I think Peg needs to come to the table.
Here.
Of course, now I'm gonna be on video, like, making these
That's
faces,
right.
and people are gonna be like, what the hell is she
Here.
making faces?
The Grinch has returned.
I was gonna say, it's been
only,
long enough,
it's only for, you
jeez.
know, like a few more days for the Grinch and then I go away.
So,
Yeah.
We, actually, I'll back up before we met with the Sennies. We did
Well.
receive, as you probably are aware, the confirmation from SDT that they're willing to work with us, and hold the conservation restriction, but with a few caveats. One of which was carving out the Boundless Adventures area and adding an additional 3 acres of land. And then there's also the well change that we've talked about, so that it can be used by folks other than the property owners, which will eventually be us. So the problem is, anytime you transfer a CR, it starts that Article 97 process, which is this lengthy, cumbersome, but lovely at the same time, state law that is designed to keep things in conservation restrictions in perpetuity and not to lose any conservation land. The problem is, when you're trying to do a transfer, you get caught up in the same process, even though really the reason we're doing this is because if the town purchases the 2 parcels 6A and 6B at River Run, that conservation restriction extinguishes, because we cannot hold the land and hold the CR. So we're actually trying to do the right thing and transfer it to a third party, so that way we preserve the conservation restriction. Unfortunately, that process doesn't seem to be any quicker or faster. It is the same process. So also the modifications that SVT would like would basically require us going through the process before we can even acquire the land, which means they would have to negotiate with the current property owners, which they are not interested in doing. So they have agreed that we've discussed having town council draft an agreement that would transfer the CR to them in its present state as it is now. And
With
once
its current boundaries.
with its current, yes, sorry,
Yeah.
with its current boundaries. And once it's transferred, we would be able to purchase the land, which, for the dollar, the River Run land, and own it. And then the SVT would go and get a second modification to the CR to add in the land they want to add and carve out Boundless, because they don't consider that passive recreation because of some of the structures, from what I understand. So that does involve 2 Article 97 processes. There were questions about how do we make sure that we, get the well part transferred as well, because that's all going to have to go through SVT once they're the owners of the property, any modifications to the CR in the future. So legal counsel is in the process of drafting an agreement that would be between the board, the Conservation Commission, and SVT. Or maybe just the commission. I don't know if it has to go through the board.
Depends on who actually
Yeah.
holds it, whether if the town owns it or the holds the CR or the commission holds the CR.
Okay, so we'll have to check
Right.
and see who actually holds it.
Right.
Julie, if you can make a note of that, that would be helpful. Otherwise, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to get all in here and do all that, and it takes too long. So we actually are in the process of having that legal agreement drafted by Heather White, who is our town council. And once agreed, once signed, we can transfer the land, we can transfer the CR, purchase the land, and be able to start gaining revenue on that property, which is the whole point, because once that purchase and sale occurs, we get the rents from Boundless Adventures, and we get $550,000 for the bridge work as well. So I have some actually good news about the $550,000. They have it now sitting in a bank account, and they would like to transfer it to the town prior to the purchase and sale, which I never say no to money.
Sure.
I'm just trying to figure out a mechanism. In June, the town accountant is working with DOR to see how we could transfer that money and put it into an account. And it is specific to that bridge and road work. It is closing out their
That-
responsibilities
yes.
in that area, basically.
Yep.
So they also have agreed that they will help in any way they can or need to with the CR transfer. They are, I'll just be frank, they really are ready to leave town. So they've sold all but the liquor store property, and I think there might be 2 parcels where the liquor store is. The owner is interested in purchasing that, and once they do, they will be out. They have sold the daycare, the gas
open
station.
liquor store, not the closed liquor
Correct.
store. Yeah.
That actually, those 2
That has
sites,
sold.
yep, the closed liquor store and the White House are scheduled to be demolished in the near future. So, long
Wow.
story short, they're willing to work with us.
Yep.
And they would like to wrap everything up that they have going on down at Riverbridge and move on with their next
Venture.
Venture. There you go.
Which bridge is this, the work that they were supposed to do?
Northbrook?
Over the Northbrook one.
Okay. Were they
There's a
ever
couple,
gonna
though.
do I remember there was supposed to be rework near the post office. Is that like
Yeah.
completely?
So that would be part of this 550,
It is,
as
okay.
that was renegotiated through the 4th development agreement, that they would give us that to close out their obligations on road and bridge work.
Is it actually gonna be enough money to do any of that?
I don't know at this time, until we have design plans that would be able to tell us, and right now we don't have anything designed. So,
Can we use the money for the design? Yeah.
we certainly can, that's not restricted. There's also the possibility of Chapter 90 money. I don't wanna commit Fred's money, but we could have that conversation as well and try to figure out between the 2, can we make it work?
Right.
There's
Right,
also
we really just need to get over this hump of
transferring
purchasing the property.
CR.
Yeah.
So we can purchase the property, so all of these other ducks fall in a row, basically.
Right.
So it's, I have to say, I've worked in local government for 18 years. This is the most cumbersome situation that I've ever been involved in. It's like every time we take a turn towards resolving everything, something else pops up that we didn't expect, and then state laws changed and Article 97 got more restrictive. So it just seems like it's taking a long time, but we are actively working on it. Carolyn's been great and involved in helping us move things forward. So I'm hopeful we now have a path,
Right.
and that we continue to go down it. So
Yep.
That's my long-winded explanation for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
You are very welcome.
All right, Horseshoe Pond CR.
Kristen O'Brien completed a site visit there, and she did raise one thing that she wanted the commission to discuss. There's a play structure that's like slightly encroaching on the boundary.
Been there from the beginning.
She said she thinks that it would be pretty easy to move, but she wanted to know how the commission would like to move forward with that, if they would like to see if the property owner can move it.
So the first time, when we were in the process of purchasing that property, a member made a visit to the property owner, and the property owner was adamant that it was not, and that he had been a professional surveyor for his whole life, and he knows where the line is, and it's not there, and get off my property. So, I believe it's a wooden structure. Last time I drove by and looked, it was pretty engulfed in vegetation. So I don't think it's probably going to be there much longer anyway. So my inclination is to let it go back to the earth. unless anybody feels differently.
I don't know where this is.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Um,
104 Linden.
yeah,
Okay,
so,
and now I know where it is.
yeah. So it's
That was-
across the street from the parking lot, essentially.
Okay.
That's where I thought
That
it was.
corner lot we own, and it's the first house towards the center of town on Linden,
Okay.
on that side of the road. So,
I trust your judgment.
thank you.
Okay, I can.
Yeah, and
communicate that
it's
to
not,
SVT.
it really isn't much. If it is actually over the line, it's not over by much. Like, not even the whole entire swing set,
Mm.
or play structure, or whatever. So. That has been a feather that I didn't feel we needed to ruffle.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, anything else about Horseshoe Pond CR?
Nope.
All right, other than we're like this close to it being done.
Yes.
Powder House Hill CR, we're just waiting for SVT to return comments.
Yes,
Yep.
they had their board meeting last week where they were supposed to vote on accepting or not. I have not heard back on how that went, but I will continue follow up with
Circle,
them. And
okay, that'd be great. Awesome. All right, let's, I assume we don't have anything about the forest stewardship plan. Yeah. Gary. If you could reach out though, now that the ground is frozen, it's a good
I
time.
sent an email this week. I
Okay.
sent one like 2 to 3 weeks ago and another one a few days ago.
Okay,
So
yeah, maybe we just make it a bi-weekly email.
sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Victoria,
Oh, should I sign in?
please. Hi.
So I just wanted to regroup about our story walk project.
Yes.
It's been a couple of months. In case I think, I'm not sure you were here last time. I don't know if I've met.
I'm Phil
Yeah.
Mullins, yeah.
Yeah, hi. Anyway, I forgot where I was. I know we talked about maybe some places we could put the story walk and what it would look like. And then I got busy with some other projects and it fell off my radar for a couple months, so
Sure.
apologies for that. And then Holly sent me a message about the funding.
Right.
And I remembered, and here we are.
All right.
So I know I had gotten a quote from National Lumber about what they could provide for constructing the signposts. And it was about $300 to $350 for most of the parts, but it didn't include the PET sheets and I think the ground spikes that we would need and quite literally the nuts and bolts of it all to put the little pieces together. So I think we were still looking about another $400 to $500 for all those other pieces. So I don't know if there had been a plan for that or if we.
So, and you were able to raise some funds from some other,
I had found some possible grants that we could apply for.
okay,
They wouldn't, I don't think any of them open until maybe February,
okay,
March.
yeah,
And
I
then
mean,
when it would be a couple months, so.
right, I mean, at this point, we're looking at spring anyway, yeah. So I have found out, that we cannot actually donate money.
Right.
But we can purchase materials
Yeah.
for you and or, I mean, that's really the easiest way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and forgive me, I don't remember how much we said. $350, that's what I thought, right? So, you know, maybe it just makes sense that, National Lumber bills us instead of you.
Sure.
And that's how we'll handle that. I know we have a resource for steaks,
Okay.
and we may even be able to get those donated / very inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you talked to Dave about that?
No.
Okay.
I will.
Okay. So that's that, so hopefully that helps reduce.
I think that was the most expensive.
Was
For
it?
some reason, those were the priciest ones.
What
Yeah.
do you, are these stakes or are they like the post bases with spikes on the bottom?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
that's different.
That's a different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
and
I
that
just- I'm
makes
like-
sense that those would be more expensive,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we'll, you know, certainly apply for the grants.
Okay.
See what we can do, maybe we can have a bake sale or something.
I mean, and I can talk to the friends and the trustees
Mhm.
about, you know, what they would like to contribute.
Sure,
We could honestly, out of our state aid account, we could probably cover the other half of the materials. I don't think that would be a problem. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't a plan that we had discussed and I forgot about, or
yeah,
I
no,
missed somehow, and I don't want to, you know, double order things.
yeah, so, have you chosen your book?
No. No.
Okay.
But I'm sure Hadley, our children's librarian, has one
Okay.
top of her head that she knows about
Right.
right away, but
Yep.
not that I know of.
Yeah, so, you know, we just need to make sure that, we do the money part right.
Yeah.
So that we can do,
Mhm.
so we can actually help. And then, you know, I think once you guys have a book chosen and you have an idea of how much space you need, we can start talking about locations and,
Yeah, it wouldn't be more than a mile.
Okay,
Yeah, they shouldn't be very long, because
Right.
you're gonna lose kids' attention
right.
pretty quickly. But yeah.
So we'll like maybe regroup in March?
Sure. So
Does that,
yeah, so you just want us to have the book decided, and then I don't want to order a bunch of supplies and then just have a pile of supplies sitting around.
Sure.
So, I don't know if there's a plan for where they would go, who's going to construct them.
I think probably, as far as the construction goes, I think we can probably have a volunteer day
Yeah.
and all get together and,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Somebody just got volunteered.
Yeah.
He is the master he's got the expertise for.
I build things for a living.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, it could be me. They wouldn't last very long, because
Yeah.
that was not, it's not going to work.
Yeah, but we can definitely help make it happen,
Okay.
you know. And yeah, so let's regroup in like early March. And you know, off the top of my head, I guess I'm thinking either 40 Caves or Berlin Meadow, because you want
I
it.
feel like Berlin Meadow, yeah, those were actually the two spots that I was kind of thinking of too. Berlin Meadow kind of makes sense because it's accessible from downtown.
Well, that's exactly, you
You
know,
get there from
it
the
should
library
be some
easily.
place that's easy
Yeah.
for little kids to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
exactly. We have lots
Yeah.
of trails, but some of them are a little more challenging
Yeah.
than others.
Make that-
Yeah,
Yeah,
Not to
honestly,
mention old people.
in older people and yeah.
Yeah.
So I think let's tentatively plan on Berlin Meadow.
Sure.
And then you know that's pretty accessible for you guys as well.
Because, yeah, we'll go in and change the books when it's time to do that. I assume that conservation could take care of checking them, everyone, you know, the
Sure, yep,
status of them.
Yep. And we
upkeep
just
around
need
the
to make
area,
sure
or
we'll
if we would need
just
somebody else.
when we know exactly what we're looking at, if it's going to be in the field part, we just need to run it by Fred because they mow over
Sure,
there
yeah.
and make sure we're not messing him up either.
Yeah. Create a little obstacle course for them.
Yeah, exactly.
slalom the mower.
Yeah.
Really get on their good list then. All right.
Yeah, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
This is gonna be so nice to do nice things.
Yes, yeah, it'll be good for us. It's been on our list for a while, something we wanna do, so.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be good.
So what exactly are we doing here?
So it's called a story walk, and so the pages of a book are reproduced and laminated somehow,
Oh, okay.
and put on posts at intervals, so the kids walk from page to page, basically, to read the story and you know, then interact also with.
And that could
what's
tie
around them.
in with Heather Simpson's nature classroom.
Sure. Yep.
Essentially.
Yeah, you can add, facts about the land. If it's a story about squirrels, you add facts about squirrels and.
Right,
you make
yeah,
it-
so once you guys, even narrow it down to a couple of books, then maybe we can talk about which ones are easier to expound upon.
Relate, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So just to be clear, we'll just regroup in March and go from there? Do you want me to start ordering things now? Just wanna make sure
Yeah,
we're on the same-
it doesn't, I don't know that it makes sense to order stuff
Okay,
now,
that's what I
because
thought. I just wanted to.
we don't have storage, I bet you don't. Yeah.
Cool.
yeah,
Just wanted to make sure
so,
we were on the same
yes.
same page.
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Our
Sounds
meeting
good.
dates are the 4th and the 18th in March,
Okay.
right
well,
now, so,
I
Yeah,
should
so
be able
we'll
to make either
put
of
you on
those.
for the 4th.
Yeah.
And,
That sounds
as
good.
we get closer, if that's not gonna
I
work
will-
for you, just let us know.
I will let Hadley know. She can get a list of books together.
That
I'm
would
sure
be
she'll be
great.
excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
Yay.
Thank you all.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thanks for
Taking
coming in.
your chocolate
Yeah,
from
take,
me.
yeah.
Thank you.
And while we're talking about upcoming meetings, I will not be here on January 21st.
All right. I'm hopefully not going to be here for something in February. I don't know exactly what yet, but.
TBD.
Yeah,
TBD.
yeah, right. At this point, I'm so behind the ball, it's gonna be whatever I can get. Okay, trail maintenance.
So, I'm gonna start with the good news,
All right.
and that is that the Eagle Scout Bridge project went very smoothly and faster than I actually anticipated, which is good. And so we have a bridge at, actually on Horseshoe Pond.
That's awesome.
my wife and I hiked in there the very next day.
Excellent.
It was more than a little impressive. Oh,
Yeah.
We took those nice photos.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
It was.
I didn't get photos day of because I didn't want to like take pictures with other people's kids running around because I just felt.
Yeah, that's not,
Yeah.
I don't.
It-
good thinking.
I don't wanna do that. so thank you. That's
Yeah, I
great.
can't wait to see it in the spring when there's,
Yep.
Actual
when it's
water
wet,
under
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, so I worked with Ishan and built the ramps and on each end and
yeah,
That's fantastic.
Figure it out.
it's awesome. How long is it?
it's like 50 feet long.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
pretty
It's
big.
funny because the picture on the left looks so short, but like these pictures,
Yeah,
it looks
it's
like
so
this
much longer.
like
Yeah.
huge boardwalk.
Yeah, it's all about perspective and
Yeah.
lens distortion and
Yeah.
focal length. I was a photographer.
I was just saying because I remember you saying it was pretty long, and
Yeah.
I was like, God, that looks so
Yeah,
short.
you
now."
get out there and you'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
That's
Oh, no, you can tell from these pictures, but I don't know why that one looks makes it look like it's like this.
Stumpy
Tiny
little
little
thing, yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But no more piles of sticks.
Right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, there's
Hopefully a lot
nothing.
less braiding and silliness.
How
Yeah.
did the piles work out? The mini piles.
Really pretty well. I mean,
Yeah?
we had to, move a couple times. Like we'd start driving them, and then it was like, oh nope, we hit something. Like we gotta
A
move a
rock?
little bit.
Huh?
A
What?
rock. I know. New England.
In Berlin?
A rock? No.
I can't
Yeah,
put a
a big
bird
rock.
feeder in my yard without 18
sometimes-
tries.
Yeah. Sometimes a root, probably.
Oh,
when,
yeah.
it, when it was more like rather than
Yeah,
like
right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a couple
yeah.
of those. But yeah, it the nice thing about this setup is that you can move quite a bit without having any issues with the overall
Structure,
layout and the
yeah.
structure.
Yeah.
It looks
So-
great.
It
Nice
does.
job.
It is.
Yeah.
Well done.
Very nice. It's as solid as can be too.
Yeah.
Looks it.
Yeah.
Yep, and the Boy Scouts, some of them really worked very hard.
How many were there that day? About
Too many. There were so many people. It was bonkers.
What
There was
age
like,
range? I mean,
The parking lot was jammed.
yeah, it was like Boy Scouts up to Eagle Scouts. You had kids that were probably, 9 or 10. And
Oh, they really
up
bought
to
in a
like,
bunch of them, okay.
15, 16-year-olds, and then, everybody's dad
yeah.
and a couple moms,
Yep.
There was a lot of people.
Wow.
So it was kind of like a little party.
That's why it got done so quick, though.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
100%. Yeah, because you could have three-quarters of people standing around and everything was still getting worked on.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was really a matter of like finding work for people. It's like, okay, let's get this part done because then we can just make them all do decking.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, but it went really, really smoothly, and was pretty happy with it. So
That's awesome.
it's good stuff.
Yep.
Um,
Well, thank you very much for coordinating that
Yeah.
and working with Ishan and.
Didn't we say we wanted to put something up, like a plaque thingy?
he was going to do like a Boy Scout plaque.
Mhm.
I was gonna talk to somebody about that. Who knows where to get them, but I can't remember who it was.
So it's gonna be on him, not on us?
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much. It's a Boy Scout project.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they deserve the kudos on it.
No, I definitely was gonna put all their stuff on there. I just didn't know whose responsibility it was for ordering and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I think Ishan was going to take care of it.
Cool.
But I'll follow up with him soon. I wanted to anyway, just to double check. There was a couple little details that needed to get worked out. Some stuff that we wanted, some hardware that we wanted to put in, because like he got the wrong screws to basically secure the 4x6s to the piles, which I mean, it's gravity. Like it would take a heck of a windstorm to pick that thing up.
Yeah.
But
Right.
still.
Yep.
So just want to get that buttoned up. That's basically it.
Awesome.
In slightly less exciting news, Northborough Trails was incredibly generous with the work that they did at the Bennett Trail, or Old Bennett Street, I don't know, whatever, but Bennett Trail lot, which is like further down Lyman, where it turns into, I think it's actually technically a different road down there.
Right,
I don't
because
know what it is.
in Berlin it's Lyman, and
Yeah.
then in Northborough it's
The other one.
whatever the other one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the other street.
The not Berlin road.
That's what it's called
Yeah.
now. But the guy who organized it decided to reuse existing pieces of bridge, which is something that I strenuously disagreed with, but I wasn't managing the project. So now some of the stringers have failed. And so there's some decking that like just doesn't
Sunk.
have anything under it.
Nice.
Yeah. It's kind of dangerous.
Yeah,
honest.
and he's aware.
I don't know if I told him yet. I will.
Yeah.
But I think technically that area is Berlin. So I feel like we probably ought to take on fixing it.
Okay.
I mean, they'll help because
Sure.
they're good like that, but they
Well,
already
yeah.
did all that work, and
Well. All right.
most of it's
So-
fine.
Yep.
So.
So what do you need? Anything from us?
I will need to get in there and get materials list together, and then we'll need some PT, decking screws, some people,
Okay.
a day.
Okay.
Maybe two, because we don't have a heaping pile of Boy Scouts. But this is obviously not happening for a few months,
Sure.
Yeah.
because I don't feature working in a swamp in December or January or
Chicken.
February, maybe March. Look, I spent like 2 months under a house on the beach not on the beach, but like on the water in Gloucester. I'm good. I put my time in.
Yeah.
There was literally an underground stream that we found when we were excavating for the footings and the
Sure.
pilings.
Sure.
It was
Oh,
not a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a little wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
All right. And Lyman Road parking area.
so we need to probably easiest course of action at this point is to find someone else to dig the holes for the fence posts, or to just get volunteers together and do it ourselves.
Okay,
because we can't really have Paul Wheeler do it at this point.
right. Did you talk to Fred at all?
I've not talked to Fred recently.
Because they're the ones who dug the holes for the fence up on Linden Street when we did that.
He
Yes.
said
So
they
they
did
have
by
the
hand.
equipment. Oh, they did it by
yeah.
hand?
Yeah.
Oh,
I asked.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
They wanna, he sounded like they wanna help with that,
Okay.
but I don't know what,
I don't
with the, you know,
know if they
yeah,
can.
yeah, the
'cause we
administrative
can't pay them
Right.
out of.
issues around that are, I just
Yeah,
don't know.
that's the issue, is that we can't pay them out of the CPA funds.
Right.
So,
All right. So,
Rent an auger?
I know.
I have one. I mean, you would need it with
I-
the 3-point hitch. It's, we have one. So if you, I mean,
well,
you could use our
that's gonna
tractor.
get
I don't know,
back
I'll get
into
it
the.
back.
Yeah,
CPA
yeah.
Well,
earlier.
not if she volunteers and she owns the equipment and she
Yeah, if
uses
you
it.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
still,
know.
it's still doing work on town
Work on
land
town
with
property.
power equipment. Like I said, I don't think that's sustainable.
You can blame me, it's my fault.
I will.
Fair enough.
I may have postal diggers too. I mean, manual ones, but I don't think.
I
one
I
of
got some of
those.
those
Yeah.
too,
Uh,
and it is miserable work.
It is. All right, well, we'll see if we can find someone to pay.
Yep.
Holly, if I pay you $1. Yes, dear.
One thing, if somebody works for themselves or a company and they have insurance and they can insure the town, but perhaps they would like to donate their services, they could also just charge us for the cost of materials or cost of renting a piece of equipment. The real thing we need is insurance in case something happens to the operator, the town, somebody on town land is really what it comes down to. So I feel like the big skunk at the garden party, but that is the issue we run up against.
So, one easy way out on that, if we're gonna try to do it ourselves, would be to talk to NEMBA,
Because they have
because
insurance.
I'm sure they have insurance.
Sure,
Because we do trail work days all the time, we sign, waivers annually,
right.
so.
Okay.
And I would
So-
just need a copy naming the town as additional insured, cause
Yep.
a county
Understood.
won't pay without that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I work in
Um,
construction, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I just am here to take the heat off of y'all, it's me,
Fair.
so
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
the problem.
I do. I have to respond to the insurance
You're not the
audit every
problem,
year.
it's town council.
It's the lawyers.
The sue happy mentality of
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That would be great if
Yep.
if we could get them to volunteer their insurance. They don't even have to volunteer their people.
Yeah, we might get one or two bodies.
Yeah,
the deal,
exactly. Yeah,
but yeah.
I'm just kidding, but yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I think it'd be
Okay.
nice if we could just buy a box of holes over at Lowe's and
And put them in.
That's some real absolute Looney Tunes, like literally.
Yeah.
That's
The
why
song
you're in
running,
charge.
Looping on.
All
That's
right,
why you're in
right.
charge of construction.
Yeah,
Exactly. And I assume we'll do the benches in the spring.
Yes,
Yeah.
I need to reach out to them, but yeah, that would be the plan at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm active enough with NEMBA and that should be a non-issue.
Cool. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else to report?
Haven't even looked at that trail reroute.
I'm sure.
It's been a crazy time
Yes.
last few months.
Yes.
So no, that's it for now.
Okay. Last thing on the agenda is the Tohoto internship program. Got anything for me, Lexi? Nope.
Nope.
Have you heard from the twins? Maybe after Christmas, reach out and just say, hey, how you guys coming?
Yeah.
Got any questions? Because they should be on vacation,
Right.
so. unless they're actually on vacation, but,
No, you only get like a week off, so.
yeah. Okay, cool.
And I do actually have one more thing.
All right.
Jim reached out about 40 Caves. There were some
Oh, yeah.
snowmobile tracks there and a brush pile, so he recommended.
We had this much snow, this
Yeah.
much snow, and
I went out there.
yeah,
I thought I put pictures in. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
I don't know how you really snowmobile on that, but
Griddly.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe
Is
A
it the
letter?
same?
it's the same.
Yeah.
Well, there's this on this end, and then there is the property owner on the other end.
Right.
That's usually ATV stuff, I believe. Might
Yep.
be snowmobile stuff too, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is it? Yeah.
could be. I actually walked the entire track. There are two different routes taken. It's a lot of trail covered, and then the field it's an
Donuts.
oval.
Yeah.
It's an oval of repetitive, zzz, and then and the brush pile. I looked very carefully at it. Many of the cuts they're not real fresh, I would say, within the last 4 months, 5 months, because there's not a lot of oxidation on
Sure.
the ends
Mhm.
of the sticks.
Is there any indication
So it's
of
pretty
where
fresh.
it came from?
No, but there's no other source around there except one possible property owner.
Right, so you don't think it was cut on conservation land,
No.
it was just the debris was stored
And it's
on-
right on the edge of the wetland. I mean, it is on the slope,
Is
right
that,
down to the,
that picture that you're talking
yeah,
about?
the
Okay.
yeah,
far picture.
yeah. But I took some pictures of the cut ends. You can see that there's very little oxidation, so they're fairly fresh.
Right.
It's not like it was there a year or 5 years ago.
Right.
There's no way that, yeah. So,
Well, anybody?
well, I'll continue to monitor it.
Yeah.
Nice walk in the woods.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, we have sent letters, I think we've sent letters to like everybody on that side of the street, just to, and of course I caught crap for that. I believe the comment I got was, way to make friends. Yeah.
You mean this is the way?
Right, that's the way to make friends.
Are you talking about dumping the stuff or having the motor vehicle, like the?
When we sent out a letter reminding people that it's conservation land and no motorized vehicles. And right, the dumping
Right.
wasn't an issue before now. That-
Okay, because to access that, where are they coming from?
Their property. Their home.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yep.
Got it.
They're a butters.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, well, we'll keep up the good fight and
So would we like more communication to go out or just monitor it?
Oh, may I add one more thing?
Yeah.
We had put up a rather bold sign facing out from, on conservation land, on town land, but facing out, saying no motorized vehicles, and I
it
couldn't
was
find it.
repeatedly vandalized,
Yes,
if I remember
and now it's
correctly.
gone.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, if it does,
Right, if it's not posted, that's one argument against anybody helping us.
Yeah, I was just thinking how, I mean, I don't know in relation to blocking it off, except, except we can't.
Right, yeah,
Keep
it's too wide open.
The,
Too wide open.
and it's, they're crossing the railroad right of way.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's 40 feet intervening between the suspected property and the town land. It runs right.
Right. I know at least one of those properties does have a deeded farm crossing
Oh.
over the tracks. I'm not sure, I don't recall if it's this one or not, but,
Well, if it's not, why don't we just get the railroad involved?
Yeah, I mean,
Let
like,
them do
like,
it.
like,
Any
like getting,
crossings.
I know, I know.
like,
I
like
was-
getting them to unclog the the
I
culvert?
was basically joking.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent, I love that.
But I was, loving it, the concept of them coming in and
Sure. Yep,
laying down the law
enforcing
without us
that.
having to be the bad guys.
Yep.
Refresh my memory, I mean,
So-
does this violate? Is this a
100%.
violable?
Of course.
I thought so. I mean,
Yeah. Yep. We just,
Violation.
enforcement is difficult.
Understood.
Did we have a trail cam out to see who vandalized the sign, or
We did.
did they take the camera too?
No, we were told that because in the background of the video that we have, the fact that the person's house was visible, that was an invasion of privacy.
Who said that?
Police chief.
And our the town property being vandalized, apparently we didn't
Have you
trump
talked to,
that.
Have you talked to town council
no
about
more.
that? Because I think that might be a complete load.
Yeah, how is
'Cause
that
it's
different than
public land.
than a ring camera?
It's
Like
not.
everybo- Like, yeah.
It's not.
but I heard if it's a camera, I think if it records a voice, then it's not good.
I had
Something
the
like that. I
sound off.
remember
I had the
this.
sound off.
Yeah, because I
Right, so there
know
was
I've
no
heard this
sound, yeah.
before with other neighbors about some other issue we're having, and they were told as long as it wasn't
Audio.
audio, it was legal.
But
I
that
can-
doesn't make a darn bit of sense to me.
I know,
Whatever.
but whatever. Yeah.
All right, well, for now, we'll just kind of continue to monitor and see what we can do.
Sounds good.
And communication, no, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yep.
Can we acquire some more signs? Because I don't have any more signs.
Sure, yes. If you would like to pick some up, we'll reimburse you. But don't spend a lot of money because they get wrecked.
Either that, or we need to buy something really nice and expensive that like
Right,
is,
that can't.
yeah, like something
like
etched, in- literally
stainless
etched in
steel.
stone.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll put a stone wall.
yeah,
We could get one of those giant boulders and have it etched.
right.
No motorized vehicles.
Boy, I like it.
Somebody must have a boulder to get rid of in this town.
I can't imagine, they don't.
I think you'd have a lot of volunteers.
You're carrying it
to
in
cut,
there.
Yeah, right? All right, do we have anything else?
I was just gonna say I started the Mass Trails grant this week for
Cool.
submission February 1st. So we have the proposal. I reached out to Kristen and Fred to try and schedule a meeting with them and VHB to get the MassDOT project number, and so the plan is to submit that for February 1st.
Yay,
Nice.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I've been in touch, at least over email, with Mary Porter and the Kelks.
Oh, good.
So
Thank you.
Starting to get a dialogue moving with them.
Great,
Awesome.
thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
I read the report.
Yeah,
All right,
banding is done for this year.
any?
77 Sawat owls were banded.
Wow.
Or there were a few recaps, so they don't get a new band, but the old band gets re-recorded.
Right,
Right. And
that's amazing.
today I finally got around, because I was out of town, I got around to picking up the poles and all the other equipment. It's stored for the winter, and come spring we'll be looking at songbirds.
Yay.
So
Nice.
I just had
Awesome.
a quick question. Well, actually, more probably for Ethan. You know, the trustees at Highland Ridge are interested in getting rid of some trees, which they'll probably have to do forever. But did we contract already? I know you've got a lot going on, or you know, in the pipeline
Contract for,
for the tree removal, or from the tornado, you know, from the damage and all. Is that?
oh, no, that's
Is that-
very much up in the air.
Oh, is it? Oh, I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, so I totally flubbed it because I didn't realize that that side of things was largely DCR land. It's part of the Lester Ross parcel, which I didn't realize went across
Oh,
the street.
yeah, that makes
Right.
sense.
So
It is.
only, and then the
On the
other,
north side of the?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, like
where
that- that's what
where
I
the
said.
entrance is, right, where the entrance is. So I
Yeah.
am trying to get in touch with someone from DCR to get permission.
Yep.
To,
You may be able to reach out to the trails person, since it's right along the trail, right?
I mean, it is trails.
I mean,
like
like the-
your
the
contact
MD
at
yeah.
DCR?
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh.
Might be at least somebody
That would be,
like,
because I have contact information for the forester that's working here in town,
okay.
up on Randall Road. And so I got in touch with him and I'm like, can you at least tell me who can give permission? And he gave me an email address and I have sent an email to them, but haven't heard anything. So,
So I think Paul Janegy got promoted, but he might still be a resource, and I would have to look to see who replaced him. But
yeah,
if you have
if
Paul,
you could,
if you have Paul Janegy, you could probably start with him, or
I
I'll
don't
look.
know that I even do.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could just
I'll look
shoot
and
me an
see.
email of who,
Yeah.
and if not, I'm gonna try like Meg or Robin, and see if they can get me a person to talk to.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise we're gonna have to figure something
Yeah,
else out.
just
I don't
across the
really
road,
even know
just
what
for-
else we can do, but,
I don't know, 40
Yeah.
feet or something.
Thank you. I wasn't sure where we stood on all
Yep.
that, so.
yep.
Yeah.
All right. Going once. Anybody? All right. Robin?
I make a motion at 8:23 p.m. to end the meeting.
Second.
Non-debatable. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?